There is an animal operating in your garden right now that you probably never see, moving through the shadows, slipping under fences, finding its way into your shed, your compost heap, your vegetable patch, all while you sleep. Mice and rats are not brave or reckless. They are calculated, risk-averse, and they navigate almost entirely by smell. And here is the thing that most gardeners never find out. There are specific plants whose chemical signatures are so profoundly threatening to a rodent's nervous system that these animals will physically reroute their paths to avoid them. Not poison, not traps, just scent. Ancient grain farmers knew this. Medieval monasteries cultivated specific herbs, not just for cooking and medicine, but as living chemical barriers around their food stores. Farmers across Egypt, China, India, and the Mediterranean all arrived independently at the same knowledge. Certain plants make rodents instinctively, deeply uncomfortable. Modern chemistry now explains exactly why. Today I am sharing 7 of those plants, what they are, why they work at a chemical level, and exactly where to put them in your garden to keep mice and rats from ever feeling welcome. Welcome to the Gardening Grandma. I post every single week with honest, practical advice from someone who has been gardening for over 30 years and learning something new about plants every single season. Hit subscribe so you never miss a video, and drop your U.S. state and hardiness zone in the comments right now. I read every single one. And before we get into the plants, if you want even more help growing a healthier, more productive garden and avoiding the mistakes most gardeners make, my complete Gardening Grandma course is ready for you, and the link is right at the top of the description. Now let us get into it. Plant 1, Peppermint. That sharp, cooling electric wave that hits the back of your sinuses when you smell it is refreshing to you and physically overwhelming to a mouse or rat. The active compound responsible is menthol, and peppermint essential oil can contain menthol concentrations up to 40%. At those levels, menthol interacts with a cold-sensing ion channel in the rodent nervous system called the TRPM8 receptor, and overstimulating it does not cause curiosity, it causes distress. But menthol is only part of what peppermint produces. The oil also contains menthone, methyl acetate, and a range of secondary terpene compounds that together create a chemical environment the rodent brain classifies as dangerous. In the wild, high concentrations of volatile terpenes at that intensity often signal decomposition or toxic plant matter, exactly the kinds of environments that rodents have evolved to avoid instinctively. Ancient Romans cultivated peppermint extensively and documented its use protecting stored goods. It was strewn across the floors of storage rooms and woven into the thatching of granary roofs. Medieval apothecaries recommended it for keeping vermin away from herb stores. This was not superstition, it was applied observation across many generations. Plant peppermint along the base of your home's exterior walls, particularly near any gaps where pipes or cables enter the foundation. Plant it densely along garden borders and fence lines where you have seen or suspected rodent activity. One important note: peppermint is invasive. Grow it in containers or restrain it with landscape edging so it does not take over your beds entirely. But that aggressive spreading tendency is actually an asset. When you are using it as a barrier, it fills space quickly, maintains a consistent chemical presence throughout the season, and trimming it regularly, which releases a fresh burst of volatile compounds into the air, actually increases its effectiveness rather than reducing it. Plant 2, Lavender. To a human nose, lavender is calming, sweet, and slightly camphor-like. To a rat or mouse, a dense lavender planting is a wall of chemical warning signals. The primary volatile compounds in lavender, linalool, linalool acetate, and camphor, are individually mild to us, but together at the concentration produced by a thick established planting, they create a signal that rodents are neurologically programmed to avoid. Linalool in particular has been studied extensively in pest research and has documented repellent effects on a wide range of pest species. In rodent studies, animals exposed to linalool-heavy environments spend significantly less time in those zones and show elevated stress markers when forced to remain. The camphor component adds another layer. It interacts with the rodent olfactory system in a manner similar to menthol, triggering receptors associated with chemical irritation rather than pleasant fragrance. Medieval French farmers planted lavender along the perimeters of kitchen gardens as a matter of standard practice, not primarily for its beauty, but because they had observed over generations that rats did not nest in lavender and did not cross through it willingly. Lavender is one of the most practical plants on this list. It is drought-tolerant once established, thrives in poor, well-drained soil, and produces its highest concentration of volatile compounds during long, hot summers, exactly the season when rodent populations peak. Planted in full sun along walkways, near entry points to your home, and as border edging around vegetable gardens. It takes 1 to 3 years to reach full size, but even young plants produce meaningful chemical output. And unlike peppermint, lavender stays exactly where you put it, a well-behaved perennial that earns its place in the garden for decades while quietly doing something most visitors would never guess. Plant 3, marigolds. This one surprises people because marigolds seem so ordinary, so cheerful, and uncomplicated sitting in their little plastic pots at every garden center in spring. But marigolds have been companion planted by agricultural cultures on nearly every inhabited continent, and the chemistry behind their pest-repelling reputation is real and well understood. Tagetes species produce a class of compounds called thiophenes, sulfur-based organic molecules with intensely sharp, pungent chemical signatures. To a human nose at normal distance, marigolds smell slightly tangy and bitter. To a rodent processing scent at concentrations orders of magnitude more sensitive than ours, a dense planting of marigolds produces a chemical environment dominated by sulfur compounds that register as deeply aversive at the neurological level. There is also the root chemistry to consider. Marigold roots produce and release alpha-terphenyl, a thiophene compound with documented properties that changes soil chemistry in the immediate area. Rats that dig, and all rats dig, encounter this compound during burrowing. It is not lethal. It is simply deeply unpleasant and disorienting. The ancient Aztecs cultivated tagetes extensively and documented their protective properties around crops. Colonial-era gardeners in England planted them around vegetable plots as a matter of standard practice. Plant marigolds densely. A single plant here and there accomplishes very little. A solid row of French marigolds along the base of a vegetable garden fence, or a ring of African marigolds around the perimeter of a raised bed, creates meaningful chemical coverage. They grow quickly from seed, flower prolifically, and self-seed readily in warmer climates, meaning once established they tend to come back on their own. And they happen to be among the most effective companion plants for vegetables in general, deterring whitefly, aphids, and nematodes, while drawing in beneficial pollinators. The humble marigold, the most overlooked plant at the garden center, turns out to be doing far more work than most people ever realize. Before plants 4 and 5, drop your U.S. state and hardiness zone in the comments right now. I read every single one, and knowing where you are gardening helps me make sure the timing and advice I give you actually applies to your specific yard and climate. Plant 4, wormwood. This is not a gentle plant. It is chemistry in botanical form. Wormwood appears in old agricultural texts, the way only truly effective things do, always near granaries, always near food storage, always noted as a plant that vermin would not approach. The primary compound responsible for this reputation is absinthin, a sesquiterpene lactone so intensely bitter it is detectable by the human palate at 1 part in 70,000. But bitterness is only what humans experience. Rats process wormwood through their olfactory system first, and the volatile oils it produces, absinthin, thujone, azulene, and a complex mixture of additional terpene compounds, create a scent profile that registers as acutely aversive to rodents. Thujone in particular has neurotoxic properties at high doses, and the rat's nervous system appears to have evolved a strong avoidance response to plants producing it. Ancient Egyptian agricultural documents dating back over 3,000 years reference wormwood, specifically in the context of protecting grain stores. Roman agricultural writers recommended it for storage areas. Medieval European granaries frequently had wormwood planted densely along their exterior walls, and this was accumulated agricultural intelligence passed down through generations of direct observation. Wormwood grows to about 1 meter in height with distinctive silvery gray-green foliage and a strong medicinal fragrance. It is extremely drought-tolerant, thrives in poor soils and full sun, and requires almost no maintenance once established. Planted along fence lines, at the corners of property boundaries, near compost heaps, and around any structure where rats have been active. One important caution: wormwood produces allelopathic compounds through its roots, meaning it suppresses the growth of nearby plants, so keep it away from vegetable beds and give neighboring ornamentals adequate space. Plant 5. Garlic. Inside every garlic clove, 2 compounds are kept physically separate: allicin and the enzyme allinase. The moment the clove is damaged, sliced, crushed, bruised, or bitten, those compounds combine and produce allicin. That sharp, sulfurous, penetrating scent that fills a kitchen is allicin releasing into the air. To a human cook, it is appetite. To a rat, it is alarm. Allicin belongs to a class of organosulfur compounds that produce some of the most intense volatile signatures in the plant world, and the rat's highly developed olfactory system, which relies on sulfur-based scent markers for predator detection and environmental assessment, responds to allicin with what researchers describe as a strong, unconditioned aversive response, meaning the rat does not need to learn that garlic is unpleasant. The response is hardwired. Garlic grows underground, placing its main chemical payload exactly where rats dig and burrow. The leaves and stems release volatile compounds when brushed or damaged, as any rat moving through a garlic planting would inevitably do. Plant garlic cloves in autumn for a late spring harvest, or pick up potted plants from nurseries for spring planting. Use it densely along the edges of vegetable gardens, near compost areas, and around the base of raised beds. It is, of course, also food, so a garlic border does double duty in any kitchen garden, providing both meaningful chemical deterrence and one of the most useful harvests in the garden. Plant 6. Rosemary. Before science gave it a systematic explanation, Mediterranean farmers gave it a practical one: plant rosemary near the granary and the rats will find somewhere else to be. This was documented behavior across agricultural communities in southern France, northern Italy, coastal Spain, and the Greek islands for centuries, not planted for beauty, but because it worked. Rosemary produces a dense, complex mixture of volatile terpene compounds: camphor, borneol, camphene, alpha-pinene, and most significantly 1,8-cineol, also known as eucalyptol. This compound functions as a powerful natural repellent across a wide range of pest species, and in rodents, the camphor and eucalyptol fractions of rosemary oil have been shown to produce strong olfactory aversion. The sheer density of volatile output from a mature rosemary shrub, especially in warm weather when the sun heats the foliage and drives off the essential oils, creates a chemical environment that rats find deeply hostile. Rosemary is also remarkably practical. It is a perennial evergreen in most temperate climates, meaning it provides chemical coverage year-round rather than only during the growing season. It is drought-tolerant, thrives in poor, well-drained soil, and becomes increasingly bushy and dense with age. A mature plant can reach 1.5 meters in height and spread nearly as wide, creating a substantial physical and chemical barrier at once. Planted at the corners of raised beds, along pathways, near doorways and entry points of structures, and flanking any areas where rat activity has been observed. Plant 7. Elderberry. Modern pest control advice rarely mentions it, but the historical record is striking, and the chemistry behind it is among the most sophisticated on this list. Across northern and central Europe, From England through Germany into Poland and Ukraine, the elder tree occupied a specific and deeply intentional position in the landscape, planted at the edge of properties near outbuildings, adjacent to root cellars and grain stores. It was planted there because it worked. The elder produces complex chemistry throughout all parts of the plant. The leaves and bark contain sanbunagrin and other cyanogenic glycosides, compounds that release hydrogen cyanide when plant tissue is damaged. This is not dangerous to humans at normal exposure levels, but rats processing the environment through olfactory receptors evolved to detect chemical danger signals, register the cyanogenic chemistry of elderberry foliage as a serious threat. The volatile chemistry of damaged elder leaves, that acrid, unusual scent quite distinct from most garden plants, triggers a hardwired avoidance response that the rat cannot override. Elder grows in almost any soil condition, tolerates wet and dry extremes, and establishes rapidly, often reaching 3 meters within just 2 to 3 years. The flowers yield the distinctive elderflower fragrance beloved in cordials and teas, and the berries, when properly prepared, never eaten raw, provide one of the most antioxidant-rich foods in the Northern European botanical tradition. Planted at property boundaries, along fence lines, near garden sheds and compost heaps. Give it space and then leave it alone. It knows what it is doing. So how do you put this into practice without replanting your entire garden at once? Start with peppermint at your home's foundation, particularly near any gaps or entry points, and along fence lines adjacent to where you have seen rodent activity. Add lavender in full sun along garden borders and near entry points to vegetable beds. Plant marigolds densely, not scattered. Solid rows along the base of raised beds and vegetable fences create real coverage. Position wormwood along your outer fence line or property boundary, away from your vegetable beds, and plant garlic throughout your kitchen garden where it pulls double duty as both deterrent and harvest. Rosemary belongs at corners of structures, near doorways, and flanking sheds and outbuildings. And if you have the space for one long-term planting that will pay dividends for decades, put in an elderberry at the back edge of your property or along a fence line, and give it room to grow. You do not need all 7 at once. Start with the 2 or 3 that fit your space and zone right now. The goal is to build overlapping layers of chemical coverage that work together continuously throughout the season, an environment that rodents find instinctively uncomfortable from every direction. The knowledge behind these plants is very old, the chemistry is very real, and your garden is already waiting for them. 7 plants: peppermint at the foundation, lavender at the borders, marigolds in dense rows around the vegetable beds, wormwood along the fence line, garlic throughout the kitchen garden, rosemary flanking doorways and outbuildings, and elderberry patient and substantial at the edges of your property. Each one working through chemistry, through the oldest language between plants and animals that has ever existed. You are not fighting nature when you plant these. You are joining it. Drop your zone in the comments and tell me which one you are most excited to try first, or which one surprised you most from this list. I read every single comment, and those conversations shape the videos I make next. Share this video with one person in your neighborhood who has been dealing with mice or rats. This information is genuinely useful, and it costs nothing to pass along. If you are not subscribed yet, please do that right now. I post every single week, and I never waste your time. Until next time, happy gardening. Take care of yourselves, and take care of those beautiful gardens of yours.